Mom, I got all A's in my classes.
So what? You're not the first person to get all A's. Mom, I'm sorry, but I failed all my classes. Oh, honey, you should be proud of yourself. At least you took the exams. But what if I'm required to repeat a grade? What? Impossible. That can never happen. I will talk with your teachers and principal immediately. They're doing such terrible work in that school.
The teachers? I asked, confused. They're doing a terrible job? Your daughter, who refuses to ever study anything, unsurprisingly fails all of her papers, and the teachers are to blame? You know who's to blame for her failures? You are. Yes, you. Don't stare at me like you're all confused. I've had enough of you. You are to blame for every bad thing that happens to Claire. And me. And Dad. Any bad thing that happens in this house is all your fault.
All right, that's enough.
Dad tried to carry me, but I pushed him away. Don't touch me, Dad. Don't you dare. You just stand around and watch this evil woman make my life miserable. And you never do anything about it.
I try my best, honey.
Well, your best isn't enough. I had sleepless nights studying, trying to be the best, so just once in my life, my mother would say she's proud of me. But instead, she doesn't give a hoot about me. I burst into tears and Claire tried to comfort me. Don't touch me, I screamed, storming off. Mom immediately followed me.
You, young lady, are grounded for the rest of—
No, she's not.
My dad interjected.
Now, get out of the way.
He pushed Mom aside as he followed me into my bedroom and comforted me. Yeah, my house was a madhouse. Thanks to my crazy mother. Hi, I'm Clara, and this is the story of my hard life. Before we proceed, please be a dear and hit the like and subscribe button if you want to receive 10 years of good luck. Believe me, it works. What you just witnessed is a short summary of my life. It has always been this way. Ever since Claire and I were born, my mother just preferred Claire to me for some unknown reason. She always praised Claire for the littlest things while insulting and castigating me no matter what I did, good or bad. My dad noticed this, and I remember him trying to have a conversation with her, explaining that the way she was handling things wasn't the right way to train children. But she never listened to him. She just kept on neglecting me. Over the years, I did everything I possibly could to impress her, but she was never fazed. I started hating Claire for all the love and affection that our mother kept showering on her. I started suspecting that Claire was actually doing this on purpose. Perhaps she was lying to my mother about me or doing things in secret with her. Things I hadn't figured out yet. I felt so bad that I began withdrawing myself from the family. I think this was when my dad really took notice of how bad things were getting in my life, so he stopped being the equal, loving father and started giving me special attention so I'd stop feeling neglected and alone. The funny thing is, Claire noticed how my dad was treating me and started hating me too for all the love and affection that he was showering on me. She didn't understand that he was only trying to fill up the empty gap in my soul. It became a game. Who would do the most impressive thing? Claire always won with our mom, but failed with our dad, while I always won with our dad and failed with our mom. We started hating each other badly, and as a result, we grew up without having a relationship. We just avoided each other at all costs, and we didn't even understand why. One day, our mom came back from work and announced that she had gotten a new job where she had to work evenings. We all objected to the fact that she'd have to work evenings, but she then explained that she didn't mind the hours because the salary of the new job was almost triple her previous salary. When we heard this, we decided to let the hours slide and all got genuinely excited for her because it meant that our lives were also going to become better as a result. Claire grew up to be really mischievous, but my mother never really saw anything wrong with that. One evening, Claire snuck out with some kids who I recognized from our streets. These were badly behaved kids that didn't even go to school anymore because they'd been expelled and arrested so many times. I was annoyed with Claire, but I was also worried. There was no way those kids were going to be a good influence on her. I waited for my parents to come back home, Mom from work and Dad from an impromptu evening meeting. When they arrived, I told them everything. My dad was really worried and wanted to go and find Claire wherever she was, but my mom simply brushed it off, saying it was just teenage stuff.
Honey, this is not a big deal. Let the young girl have fun. This is just what teenagers do. You know she's 18 already, right?
When my dad insisted on going to find Claire, my mom severely warned him. This was when I realized that my mother was the breadwinner of our family. No wonder she got away with almost everything. She made more than Dad so she could threaten him with money. I tried attending an innocent school party one night, but both my mom and Dad didn't let me go anywhere. While we argued, Claire simply walked to the door and said,
I'm off to the school party. I'm not coming back till Monday. Bye. All right, sweetheart. Enjoy your weekend.
You're not coming back till Monday? What the?
Mom gave Dad a stern look.
It's all right, my love. Have a blast.
They immediately turned back to me while I stared at them with my mouth wide open. My lips were so far apart that you could fit a football stadium right into it.
Now you, young woman, go back to your room before I descend on you.
Dad! I called out with tears in my eyes, but he simply looked away. I went back to my room and locked the door, weeping as I sat on my floor. Claire was allowed to party and leave the house as much as she liked. It didn't matter how much her dad objected, Mom had the final say. But whenever I tried to go out and have this type of fun, both Dad and Mom objected. No matter how my dad tried to make up for it after the fact, I was convinced that they both hated me. And I couldn't understand why, because I'd done my best to be perfect for them. One night, Claire came home by 2 a.m., drunk and wearing really revealing clothes. Dad got so angry with her that he started yelling uncontrollably at her. But this infuriated Mom, and she responded by yelling back at him. One thing led to another, and they suddenly ignored Claire, who made them start fighting in the first place and focused on themselves, yelling and screaming at each other. I just stood there, stunned. Mom slipped and stumbled on the floor. While trying to gain her balance, she almost fell down and hit her head, but Dad immediately caught her and saved her. She responded by attacking my dad like she was some sort of cat, and they both resumed the noisy scene. A drunk Claire tried to stop all the yelling, screaming that they were giving her a headache, but while approaching them and trying to speak, she ended up slipping and falling down, hitting her head in the process. This abruptly ended the noise between my parents because we had to quickly rush her to the hospital. While on the road, my parents kept shouting and blaming each other for Claire's accident while I cradled Claire at the back of the car. We almost had an accident because of the constant word battle, and this was when they decided to be quiet till we reached the hospital to avoid any more mishaps. After waiting for hours at the hospital, the doctor finally came out.
Hello, I have both good news and bad news.
Hit me with it.
Your daughter has survived the procedure. She is safe.
Thank God.
Unfortunately, she might be in a coma for a short while.
The doctor kept quiet, allowing it to sink in for a few minutes before continuing.
The great news is that the baby is totally fine.
He gave a huge smile.
Baby?
What baby?
We all chorused.
Oh, you didn't know? Well, congratulations. Claire is 3 months pregnant, so now you're an aunt.
He said, pointing at me.
And you're grandparents. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you guys.
The clueless doctor walked away thinking that he had just broken the best news on the planet, and I stared at his back as he walked away cheerfully, wondering how a grown man and a doctor could be so clueless and stupid. He's probably still a student, I thought. That's why he couldn't read the room. My dad broke down and began crying while my mother simply stared into space. 5 days later, Claire woke up. She was released from the hospital 3 days after that. Nobody told her about the baby until we got home when my dad carefully broke the news to her after dinner. She turned bright blue and immediately threw up on the floor before she began crying and shouting.
This is all your fault, Mom. You're to blame for everything. I hate you. I hate you so much. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
Calm down, Claire. It's okay. We're not angry with you. I'm disappointed, but what has happened, and it can't be changed. Now, tell me, who is the father of your child?
She kept crying profusely.
I don't even know, Dad. I've dated so many guys in the past few months because Mom let me, and I don't know which one is the father. This is all Mom's fault. I hate her.
How is this Mom's fault? I asked. You're the one who wanted to hang out with those delinquents.
No, that's not even what I'm talking about. I caught my mom with another man on the first night that I went to a party. That was why she allowed me to stay out late that day. And that was why she kept letting me go out whenever I wanted after that, too. She didn't want me to tell you guys that she didn't actually have a new job that required her to work evenings. She just had a new man, and he's the one that has been spending so much money on her.
Dad got furious after hearing this and immediately sent Mom away shortly after divorcing her. As she left that night, she kept on screaming that we'd suffer. We'd be poor and broke, and it'd be impossible for us to survive without her. Seeing that he was the new breadwinner of the family, my dad had to leave his old job for a new one. We helped him with the preparation of his CVs and cover letters, and then even helped him prepare for interviews until he got an executive position. He started taking care of us properly, and life became more tolerable because he loved us equally and unconditionally. There was no unhealthy competition for attention between us anymore. 6 months after Claire's incident, she gave birth to a beautiful baby boy, and we all loved him more than life itself. We all lived in harmony for 3 strong years, but the madness in our lives was far from over. One day, my mother came to visit us, and we let her in, even though we didn't really want to. The first person she noticed was Claire's son.
You wicked and ungrateful daughter.
She shouted, referring to Claire.
Huh? Mom, what do you mean? What do you mean, what do I mean? Can't you see the face of your son? It's so obvious what you did. And to think you used to be my favorite. You evil good-for-nothing. Mom, I don't think I quite understand. What are you...
But Mom didn't give her a chance to complete the sentence as she jumped on her and started beating her badly. Luckily, my dad was able to separate them quickly since he was stronger than both of them combined.
What is this madness again?
Your good-for-nothing wayward daughter was dating my ex-boyfriend while I was dating him. Ask her.
The boyfriend you were cheating on me with?
Yes.
My mom said, turning bright red.
Is this true, Claire?
This was when Claire finally realized what Mom had been rambling about.
Oh my god, you've made me realize who my baby's father is. And by the way, I never dated your married boyfriend.